All right, guys. So yesterday we went over our grip, how to throw the football, and our three-step drop. Those are all things that are so important when you're playing a game of football, whether it's flag football, two-hand touch, competitive, or whatever it may be. Those are important because obviously, and if you were in class, you'd really see the importance of it because we're not just going to have one quarterback the entire time. We're going to rotate. So everybody's got to be able to throw. And then what we're going to learn today, and then tomorrow as well, everybody's got to be able to learn how to do. So today, we're going to start focusing on some of those offensive strategies that we talked about. So if you remember, which I hope you do, we talked about cuts, fakes, and jukes. And then we're also going to get into our routes that we can run as a wide receiver. So first off, I'm going to show you the different cuts and fakes that we can make to throw off our defender so we can get separation and we can get that advantage to, get open and catch the ball. All right, guys, so this is going to be our cut. Normally, in normal PE, what we would do with this is before this, we would learn the lead pass, which is basically throwing to a receiver who's moving, versus someone who's standing still, because in a game of football or really any sport at all, you're not really going to be standing still that much. So you've got to be able to throw a pass to somebody who's moving. Obviously, without a partner, I can't really do that. So we're just going to skip over that part right now. But if you would like to learn more about it, learn how to do it, then just let me know and I can get that arranged. So what we're going to move on to is our cuts and fakes. This is going to lead into our routes. But first, before we learn our routes, we've got to know how we can make a good, sharp cut to throw that defender off so that we can get open. Now, you guys see my setup. I'm using this little, it's like one of those line things where you pull this black thing out. One of these things. So I'm using that as my, defender, and that cone is going to be my starting place. So that's going to be our line of scrimmage. This is about 8 feet apart, just to give me some room so I can, get to a running speed and make a cut, which you guys will see in a second. If you're at home and you're practicing this, you don't have to have these things. You don't have to have a cone or that. You can have a ghost defender there, and that's fine as long as you're making the cut right. So let's get into our cut. So what we're going to do is pretend like we are lining up on the offense, on the line of scrimmage, up against that defender. So this right now is a defensive back. He's somebody who's going to be covering me. I am the wide receiver. So we're going to pretend to say hike. So hike, I'm going to run up to him, full speed, and then once I get here, I'm going to make a cut inside. So pretend this whole gym is our field. I know you can't see it all, but this is our field. When I make a cut inside, so towards my right, when I get up to him, I'm going to plant my left foot and then turn and explode to the inside. So full speed, this is what it's going to look like. Set, hike, plant, explode. Just like that. If this is a real person, if he's not expecting me to do that, either his ankles are getting broken or he's not going to be able to stay with me. If he's expecting that, then he might be able to stay with me. But we're going to pretend that I broke his ankles, because why not? So again, full speed, this is what it looks like, then I'll slow it down for you. So, set, hike, run, plant, explode. Just like that. And obviously you can keep going as far as you want to, depending on what route you're doing. So, let me slow it down for you guys real quick. This is what it's going to look like slower. Once you get up to him, that's when you make that plant with your outside foot. Once you plant, you pivot on it and explode inside. You got to have an explosive movement. It can't be a lazy cut, which I will show you an example of in a second. But first, let me show you how to do it right one more time. Slow motion. So, I'm going to say set, hike, run up to him, plant, explode inside. And that's going to get that defender off us. I have 2 examples of what you do not want to do. So these are called lazy cuts or rounded cuts, which are 2 things that will not separate you from the defense and will keep him close to you and able to cover you. So this is what it looks like. This is going to be our lazy cut. So I'm going to say set hike, run up to him, and I'm going to plant, and then just kind of walks on into the field. Full speed, this is what it looks like. Set, hike, plant, and then turn and run. That's not going to keep him away from us. So here's our rounded cut. What it's going to look like. So I'm going to say height. When I get up to him, instead of planting and turning immediately, I'm going to plant and just kind of the same thing, and kind of round off my corner. So full speed, this is what it'll look like. Set height, and then I'll round it off, just like that. That's not what you want. So one more time, full speed. Set height, plant, explode. Just like that. Let me show you guys from the front. All right, so here it is from the front. You're seeing it from the defensive side. Set height, plant, explode. Just like that. So that is going to be our cut in football. All right, so that was our cut. Now let's talk about our fakes. So it is going to be very similar. We're still going to have that cut in there, but instead we're going to throw something else a little before it. So let me show you guys what it's going to look like. When we do a fake, we're going to act like we're going to one side and then switch and go the other way. So this is what it's going to look like. Set height, so I'm going to run up, act like I'm going left, and then cut and explode inside to the right. So that can throw the defender off, because if I'm the defender and somebody's coming to me and then they act like they're going left, I'm going to turn my hips to follow him because he's going left. That's where his route's going. So if we're doing that, so set height, pretend they're coming to me, they go left, I'm going this way. And then whenever he fakes and goes to the right, then I got to quickly flip my hips and go that way with him. But not everybody can do that. So this is what we're doing. Set height, he fakes left, goes right. I got to stumble and catch myself so that I can keep up with him, or else he's going to be wide open. That's why it's such a good strategy for the offense or for the receiver to use that, because it throws that defender off even more. So I'll show you guys again full speed, this side, and I'll slow it down for you. So set height, I'm going to run up, fake left, cut, and turn right. Just like that. Let me slow it down for you. So I'm going to say height, run up to him, and I'm going to put my left foot out there and turn my body like I'm going left. And then right when I do that, I'm going to plant and turn and go to the right. One more time. That can be, I know it can be a little tough. It can be kind of hard, especially if you don't have fantastic coordination, which I'm not saying I do, because I don't. But it's something that you can practice and get better at. So one more time. Set height. I'm going to fake left, cut, and go right. Let me show you from the front. So I'm going to do my fake to the left and then cut and go right. Set height, fake left, cut, go right. Just like that. All right, so that was our cuts and our fakes. Now we're going to move on to our different routes that we can run as a wide receiver. So the reason we learned cuts and fakes first is because a lot of times you use those things in the routes that you run. So the first one we're going to learn is an in route. So obviously, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. When you run an in route, you're going to cut towards the inside of the field. So again, you guys can kind of see here, this is going to be our field. There's that white line over there, or the red will be our out of bounds. And then over there, which I won't even get that far over there, that'll be out of bounds. And you guys, you might not be able to see, but I have a red cone right there. That's going to be our line of scrimmage. Our in route is going to be very similar to what we just practiced. It's going to be actually basically that same movement. I don't have a defender this time. I'm just going to run the routes. I'm going to do it fast and then slow, and then give you a different angle of it so that you can see, all the different ways that it looks. So let me show you what it looks like first. I'm going to start at the line of scrimmage, and then I'm going to act like I'm going to hike the ball. Whenever it gets hiked, I'm going to run up and count in my head, probably 5, 6, 7 steps. And once I get to that number, whichever one I want, I'm going to make that, plant my left foot, and then cut to the inside with an explosive movement, just like we did before. So here's what it's going to look like. Set height, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, cut, and explode to the inside. I'm going to do it this time, but I'm not going to count. You guys can count on your own or in your head. Set height, cut, and explode to the inside. So that's what our in route looks like, fast paced. Let me show you slower. So set, height, go up, and then plant, explode to the inside. That's what it's gonna look like. Now let me give you a different view of it. All right, this is gonna be our side angle of the in route. You're not gonna see me at the start, but once I make my cut, then you'll see me. All right, so I'm gonna say set, height, run up, cut, and then that's my in route. One more time. Set, height, run up, plant, cut, and boom. That's our in route for a wide receiver. Now let's move on to the out route. All right, guys, so now we're gonna move on to the out route. So I hope that the difference in the names is obvious. For the in route, you're cutting and coming inside. For the out route, you're gonna cut and go to the outside. So there is a key difference for this one. We're practicing, or at least I have been. You've seen me, doing these videos. And when I am cutting, I'm running up, planting with my left foot or my outside foot, and then turning and exploding towards the inside. The difference for the out route is, instead of planting our outside foot, we're gonna plant our inside foot. What I mean by outside and inside is this leg is closer to the inside of the field. This is our field. Everything behind me is our field. So this leg, my right leg, is closer to the inside of the field. And then my outside leg is closer to the outside of the field. So the difference we have is, instead of cutting and planting with our outside foot, we gotta switch it up, and we're gonna plant and cut with our inside foot. Let me show you what that is gonna look like. So this is going to be our out route. I'm gonna show you probably 2 times fast, then I'll slow it down and then give you a different angle. Here we go. Set, height, run up, plant, and explode towards the outside. I hope you guys see that difference. I'm not cutting inside to go towards the middle of the field, but I'm cutting outside and going towards out of bounds. There's strategy to that, and I'll tell you what that is in a little bit. All right, one more time. Set, height, run up, plant, explode towards the outside. All right, let me show it to you slow. So, I'm gonna fake height the ball, set height, I'm gonna run up, and I'm gonna plant my inside foot, turn, and explode towards the outside, just like that. One more time fast, and I'll switch angles. Set height, run up, plant, explode towards the outside. Now let me show you guys the side angle. This is our side angle of the out route. Last time with the in route, whenever I got here and cut, you guys saw me running away from you. This time you're gonna see me running towards you because you are on the sideline right now. Here's what it's gonna look like. Height, I'm gonna run up, plant, explode, and I'm coming right for you on that sideline. One more time. Set, height, plant, explode, right to the outside. The reason we use an out route, or we might use an out route, is because in a game of football where there's like a clock and there, it's timed and all that, in PE that's not how we're gonna do it. But what it can do is, if you're running out of time and you gotta score quick, but you don't have any timeouts, then when you run an out route like that and you catch the ball right here, all you gotta do is step out of bounds, and then the clock is stopped. And you got time to come up with another play. You got time to create a drive. So that's why people would use it in real football. The reason you use it in flag football, which is what we're practicing, is because that defender is probably expecting you to go inside, because there's a whole lot more room there than there is on the sideline. So if you, instead of cutting inside, cut out, he's gonna be like, holy crap, what are you doing? And then you should have an easy catch if your quarterback sees you. Now we're gonna move on to our next route. It's gonna be the slant. So now we're gonna look at the slant route. This is going to be very similar to our in route, except for our in route is straight lines. So all it is we run up, straight, and then we cut straight towards the middle. This time, instead of it being a straight line, a cut and then a straight line, it's gonna be a diagonal line. So if you know football, you know what this is, but for my people who don't, that's gonna be the difference. You probably won't be able to see it too well, this front-facing view, but from the side, you definitely should be able to see it, and I'll point it out for you. But let me show you what it looks like front-facing, full speed, then I'll slow it down, and I'll probably give it to you slow from the side angle as well. So here's what it's gonna look like. So this is what our slant route is gonna look like. I'm gonna line up in my line of scrimmage. I'm gonna say set, pipe, run up, plant, explode diagonally instead of straight inside. Let me show you one more time, fast pace. Set, pipe, plant, explode, diagonally towards the middle of the field. All right, now I'm gonna give it to you slow, but I'm gonna do it at that side angle so that you can really see that difference. All right, so this is gonna be our side angle of the slant route. Before, you probably couldn't tell the difference between a slant and an in route, and that's okay. Now, you should definitely be able to see it, and I will point it out for you, either on the video or in like real life right now. So let me show you what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna go fast once, then I'll slow it down, and I'll go fast again. So, get ready, set, pipe, run up, plant, and cut diagonally. So I hope you guys saw that difference. When we did our in route and when we did our out route, when I cut and turned, I was going straight this way or straight towards you. This time, I'm not going straight one way, but I'm going diagonal. So you guys see that difference. Let me show you slow, what it's gonna look like. Set, pipe, run up, plant, and then diagonally run that route. I'm gonna show you one more time fast, and then I'll show you on the video what it looks like. Set, pipe, plant, explode. And that is our slant route. Now we're gonna move on to our curl route. Guys, so far, we've looked at the in route, the out route, and the slant route. We're kind of getting away now from that cut where we cut, inside or outside, and we're gonna do some routes a little bit different. So, what we're gonna work on now is called the curl route. So, that might sound a little bit weird, you might not know what that means, but I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna show you 2 times full speed, then I'll slow it down, then I'll give you a side angle of it. So, let me show you. You guys see my starting point here? I'm actually gonna move it in a little bit, just to give you guys a better visual. But just so you know, normally the curl routes, whenever they're run near the sideline, so they're not usually this far inside the field. But it also depends on the play that you're calling. So let me show you which route looks like. So kind of like before, I'm gonna run up, 5, 6, 7 steps, depending on how deep I want to make it, or we can do a short one and go, 3 or 4 steps, something like that. But I'm gonna show you about 5, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Set, pipe, run up, plant, and instead of exploding and going towards the inside, either in or a slant, or going out, I'm just gonna come up, plant, and then explode and turn inside with my hands up. The purpose of a curl route is to get that ball out of the quarterback's hands quick. It also throws off the defense because normally when you're playing a game of football, that defender is expecting you to either go inside or to go up the field. So when you do something like we talked about with the out route, when you go out, he's like, holy crap, what just happened? And it's the same with the curl because, you're doing that curl and you're just standing there. You're not going in or out. So his body is telling him, I'm gonna go in with this receiver, and then you stop there, you're wide open, got a completion, and could possibly get down the field some more. Let me show you just what it looks like now. Set, height, run up, plant, and turn. I'm ready for that ball. One more time, and I'll slow it down. Set, height, run up, plant, turn, ready for that ball. All right, let me show you guys slow down what it's gonna look like. So I'm gonna run up for 5, plant, and I'm gonna turn my body. I'm just gonna pivot on this foot, on my outside foot, and I'm gonna turn and be ready for that ball to be in my hands. So that's what the curl light looks like front. I'm gonna give you a side view of it. So this is gonna be our side view of the curl route. Remember, you're not gonna see me at the line of scrimmage, but you will whenever I'm running the route and make that plant and explosion. Let me show you guys what it looks like. Set, height, run up, plant, explode. I'm turning towards that quarterback. I'm pretending that like that U over there on the floor, it says Jaguars. So I'm looking at that U like it's my quarterback. So let me do that again. Set, height, plant, explode, just like that. All right, so far everything we've looked at have been short to medium length routes. What that means is that when we are at the line of scrimmage and we are running up to do our route, that we're not going too far down the field. This time, it's gonna be a little different. We're gonna go farther down the field. Now, normally in PE, I wouldn't let you guys do these but once or maybe twice in one single offensive drive, just because I want us to be able to focus on making passes that are gonna be higher completion percentage. So what that means is that if you're running a long route every time, you're just chucking the ball down there, hoping somebody catches it, hoping somebody gets open. Now, yes, that can work out and you can score a touchdown, but the odds of that happening are not as high as if you were running a shorter or medium route. But I do want to show you guys some examples of some longer routes. So the first one we're going to look at is going to be called the stop and go. All right, guys, I'm down here. I know I'm way more far away than you have been, but to do these long routes, I got to be a little bit farther away. So I'm going to try to give you the best view that I can from the front and then also on the side. But this is what we got, so this is what we're going to work with. So this is the stop and go route. I'll show you twice, full speed, then kind of explain it, and then I'll slow it down for you. So here we go. Set, height, run up, sit there like a curl, and then run back. Let me show you full speed, no explanation. Set, height, run up, and then go. That's what that's going to look like. The reason why this is a really good route to run is because, kind of like I said before, when you are running a route, that defender is expecting you to go inside or up the field. So yeah, you're going up the field, but you throw them off because you stop and act like you're running a curl. So first of all, they got to get their body reset and be like, oh, he's doing a curl, I got to be right here. And then right when he's getting set, you cut back upfield. So let me kind of explain to you guys what this process looks like as best as I can. I'm going to hike the ball, so set height. I'm going to run up about 5 steps, cut like a curl route, and then instead of putting my hands up and getting ready for the ball, I'm going to plant my right foot, which is my inside foot, and then turn and run back upfield and be ready for a throw. So one more time, let me show you what it looks like. Set height, run up, stop, and then go. All right, so this is going to be our side view of the stop and go route. This will really give you a good visual of what it looks like and what that route just looks like in an actual game. Set height, run up, plant, and explode up the field. One more time. I'm going to do it with no cues because it kind of breaks up how I want it to look with the cues, so I'm going to do it completely silent. Set height, and then boom, right up the field. That is our stop and go route. It is our first long down the field route. Now we're going to look at the medium and long post routes. All right, so we just looked at our first long down the field route. Now we're going to look at our second one. We're actually going to look at two. One is going to be a little bit shorter than the other, but I do want to just give you guys an idea of what they look like. So it's going to be called the post route. Now we can have this be like medium distance down the field, or it can be long distance. Basically what it is just a slant route, but it's just way farther down the field. So instead of taking like 5 steps, we're going to take 7 or 8 for that medium post route. And then for the long post route, we're going to take probably like 9 or 10 steps. But I'm going to show you guys what it's going to look like. So again, all the way down here, I hope you guys can see me well enough. This is what it's going to look like front facing medium first. So remember, for our medium, we're going to run probably 7 or 8 steps and then basically do a slant route. So remember with our slant, we got that plant and explosion, and then when we explode inside, it's diagonal. So here it goes. Set height, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plant, cut, and explode diagonal. So that's what it's going to look like. Let me show you one more time, full speed, no explanation. Set height, boom. Just like that. That is our medium. Let me show you the long. Here's going to be the long post route. All right, so the reason why these routes do work pretty decently, especially if you're just covered by one person, is because when you are running down the field and you're taking 7, 8, 9, 10 steps just going straight, that defender is going to be expecting you to just be running straight down the field. So that's what his body is going to do. When you're playing defense, we'll talk about this in a second, on coverage, it's all about your hips. It's all about where your hips are facing at that time. So if my hips are facing straight and I'm running back with this defender, when he's just going upfield, I'm liable to turn and just follow him instead of worrying about where he's actually going. So when I'm a receiver and I make that cut, my defender is like this, and it's like, holy crap, he went that way, so I got to turn around. That's why these routes are so good. Let me show you a side view of them both. All right, so again, this is going to be very similar to a slant route, but it's just longer. So you're not going to see me for a little bit during this route, but I'm going to do the medium first, which again is about, I think I said 7 to 8 steps. Maybe I said 6, I'm not completely sure, honestly, I forgot. I'm a little tired, I've been doing this all day. Anyway, and our long route will be 8, 9, or 10 steps. But I'll show you medium first. Set height, run up, plant, explode diagonal. Just like that. Now let me show you the longer one. All right, I hope you guys can tell that you've moved down the bleachers a little bit. You're right now set up on a cone so that I can get a good side angle. But you've moved down the bleachers a little bit. That's to represent that this is the longer route. All right, so the long post route. Set height, plant, explode diagonal. Okay, so real quick to review our routes. I am going to give you one more side view of each one just so you can really see it. I'm going to run them full speed and not give any explanation of them except for what the name of the route is so you know. So we're going to go through in order like we have. So we'll do in, out, slant, curl, stop and go, and then both are post. So let's get started. We're going to start with the in route. Set height. Now we're going to do our out route. Next up is going to be the slant route. Set height. Next is going to be the curl route. Set height. Next up is going to be the stop and go. This is our first down the field long route. Set height. Next up will be the medium post route. Set height. And then last one up is going to be our long post route. Set height. All right, guys, so those are all our routes that we're going to run during flag football, or that you would run normally. There are many other routes and many other ways that you can run them, even the ones that we've practiced today. But we're just going to look at those because they're usually the ones that I do during my flag football units. So now, tomorrow, we are going to start looking at defense, different defensive positions and strategies we can use to stop the offense from moving down the field and from scoring.